Hey everyone, so welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Abigail and I make videos about special needs and health issues. And today I wanted to share with you something that happened to me last month that was kind of funny. And then I'm also going to share with you the date that we have for my next iron infusion. So, funny thing first. I like when these funny situations come along because, when you have health issues, it can be really hard in your health journey, when you got all this health stuff going on, right? And it's sometimes hard to think about other things, so when something funny comes up, I sometimes think it's like maybe a little overly funny. So last month, I went to go get my first iron infusion. And it was me and my dad. My dad brought me, and it was at our closest hospital. And it was just, one of those like walk-in visits where, you give your information, and then when they called me back, they brought me to like this office area, and they basically just wanted my information, basically like claiming it was me, making sure they had all my information and everything right. And then they sent me back into the waiting room, and then a little while later, they called me back for like, actually getting things ready for the iron infusion. Well, when I walk into the waiting area, this was in the part of the hospital where people wait for different things. So, like, some people might be waiting for somebody that's having surgery, so they may be in that waiting room for a few hours. Also, that waiting room is like for people that's just giving blood work. There can be many reasons why you would be in that one specific waiting area. And this waiting area was pretty big. I would say you could basically call it having three sections. There's like a left side where there is a TV, and then there is a middle section which they had a TV in the front, and then there's the side where I guess you could say to your left, I think it was, where they had a TV back there as well. So it was a pretty big waiting room. Like, several families could sit in there and be comfortable. Well, okay, so I'm at the front desk, I'm giving my information or whatever, and as I walk in, I hear this very loud snoring sound. And I think, what is that? I'm at the front desk giving my information, and I'm so confused. Like, both me and my dad is looking around the waiting area, like, what is that sound coming from? And it's like, imagine you walk in, here's the front desk, and then here's like the front seating area, kind of like to the side. And there was this elderly man sitting there, and then he had an older lady sitting beside him, which I'm guessing was probably his wife, and the man was snoring. But it wasn't just like the occasional snore. It was like every couple minutes this guy was loudly snoring. And when I say loudly snoring, I'm talking about we could hear this guy on the other side of the waiting room. It was crazy loud. And it was almost to the point it was really hard to keep a straight face. Well, so me and my dad go to like I think it was the left side of the waiting room, and we're that side of the waiting room that we went to, it kind of had its own like general area. Like there was only like my dad and me, and then there's like a few chairs, maybe 10 or so chairs, and then there was this lady there that she had like brought her laptop where it looked like she was gonna be there a while. Like maybe she had like a family member having surgery or something. And this is when it really hit me funny, because this lady is doing her own thing on her laptop or whatever, and we're all sitting there, just me and my dad are sitting there just trying to, look at her phone or TV or whatever. And I can tell that this lady that was a few seats ahead of us was just really, really, she seemed really like intense, like if the noise was like really bothering her. So the lady gets up, she picks up her laptop, and she walks down this hallway, which the waiting room we were in, it was all connected to the hospital. And so she walks down like this one hallway, and she seems to be gone maybe 15 minutes or so. And she comes back and she sits down, and she seems like all relieved, like she might have, went on a little walk or something. What I found really funny was when that lady got back to her seat, she like sat like, I'm pretty sure in the same seat she was sitting in before. That guy was still sleeping and snoring very loudly. And I could just tell that this lady was not very happy about the situation. And it was just so funny to me. I don't know why. It was like shortly after the lady came back that guy's name got called. And he went back. But like what was funny was this guy's wife was sitting right beside the guy. And she did not wake him up and let him know that he was snoring at all. She just like, it was almost like she was ignoring the situation. And then I think it was a little bit after that we got called back. And then when we got called back, they gave me a bracelet, and they asked me, my name, my date of birth, basically my information. And I told them, and then they I had to make sure that I drank plenty of water before I went to get my iron infusion, because definitely don't want to be dehydrated, so they can get it the first time. And they gave me this little bag of iron, and it was pretty small, and thankfully they only had to stick me once. But after they stuck me, they let me and my dad have a drink. We both got, I think it was Sprite, and it was like one of those mini cans, and it was a little bag of iron, so it didn't take a long time, maybe like 30 to 45 minutes to all empty out of the bag. And then the lady came back. She was like, after the iron infusion was over, she took out the needle, made sure I was okay because it was my first one. She wanted me to sit there a couple minutes just to make sure that I was going to be okay and everything, and I was. And then they discharged me, and we left the hospital, and afterwards my dad ended up buying me a coffee, so that was really, really sweet. I go back this month. I think it's the 18th, but let me look to make sure. Okay, so good thing I looked because I was wrong. I actually go back the 16th of January, so that will be my next iron infusion. I feel like it's really helped with my energy and stuff. Um, Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe down below if you're new, and hit the notification bell, and I will see y'all next time. Bye everyone.